Hello everyone, so in this video let us talk about again three problems from the LeetCode weekly contest 302. So let's start. So the first problem is simple. It's the first letter to appear twice. So you have given a string and you just have to tell us what is the first character, like what is the character that appears twice the first time. Okay, so you can at least see that if you see that A, now it is A, then B, then C, then C occurs one more time. So C is the first character that is occurring twice. So now you can do that whatever, like A, then B, then C, then D, and D again. So it's that D is occurring twice. So it tells that like at least one letter is always occurring, so our answer is always present. So yeah, what is the approach for that? The thing is that there are multiple approaches. You can just make a set, because set only holds unique objects. Okay, so you can keep on inserting those characters inside set, and whenever you cannot insert, which means that now the character is repeating, you can just tell us that that is present already. That's all the logic. You can use nothing much. You can use a map also, you can use a set also. So I'm using a set. Just make a set of characters, keep on iterating, and just check that whether the character I want to insert is already present inside the set. If it is already present, now it means that now we have the character that has occurred, so just return that character. If it is not present, insert that character inside the set and then keep on moving forward. Put a logic here. I hope you understand the point. Moving on to the next problem. Okay, my next problem is let's move on to the actual, let us load here. So equal rows and column pair. So you are given a 0 indexed n cross n integer matrix, as you can see, and now you have to return the number of pair of r comma c, like any row and any j, such that r and c are equal. Now first understand what they are trying to say, but they are actually trying to say that what all are different pairs in which the same, like any row and column are like completely same. Okay, so you can actually understand it from the very like example only. The row second and row like column 1, so row second, so second row, so 176. Row, I think so. Okay, index is from like second index, so this is second index, so 277, this is the row, and column 1, this is the 277. So as you can see that both of them are 277, so both are same. So you just like, they are actually just trying to say that what are the rows and columns pairs that are same. So what you can try to do, like what the main problem here is that you can just make some sort of a, like you can say a map in which you can store for every row how many times every row is occurring, and similarly how many times every column is occurring. So you have the count of that. Now if two row and column are same, you can just pair them up. So let's say a row is occurring 5 times and a column is occurring the same row, that is the number sequence is occurring in column, and it is occurring let's say 3 times. So 515 pairs you can form. That's a very simple logic. So if you have like x in the row, like same value, and y in the columns the same value, so you just make like multiple pairs from that. So like x into y, that's the total number of pairs you can form. So the overall logic here boils down to is that you can count out how many rows and columns are same. Okay, and just make a map out of it, and then you can directly find out the number of pairs you can get. So overall problem is very simple as well. So I can move on the code part. So what we have done is that we have made two maps for the rows and columns, and then for rows we can directly just iterate over this whole map, and then so this is I comma j grid. So if I just move over the ith point, so this is I, this is the whole row, and then j means the column. So if I just take grid of I, it will give me the complete row. So I will just insert the complete row inside this map. So this is the map is storing out a vector to integer, which means that this complete row is inside this map. So whenever this row is occurred one more time, it will increment the count. So we have on the row count how many times a particular row, or like you can say a vector, is present. Okay, similarly for column we cannot do that, so we have to do separately iterate over these every column, insert them inside a vector. So just make this complete vector, okay, and then push that complete vector inside this map again and increment the counts for every column. Now we have the column and well as the row, like rows inside this maps. So what we'll do, just iterate over any map, any of these maps. Let's say iterate over rows. So let's say for every row, like every unique row I have, I'll find the same row in the columns map. So in the columns map, is this same row is present? If the same row is present, how many times that frequency is there? Just multiply that frequency by the frequency of the time that particular row is present inside the rows map. This is what get from, multiply both of them and increment the answer, get the answer. It's pretty simple as well. Like using C++ has become very simple. So yep, that's our logic for the second problem. The third problem is actually very similar to the third problem of the previous code and the previous video I have already posted on his channel. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. So the previous contest that we have uploaded, that is I think so bi-weekly 83, in which the third problem is very similar to this problem. Very similar. Okay, I'll tell you how it is very similar. So if you haven't checked that video out, it is very good problem, so go check it out. So the problem is design a food rating system, and in that it is some sort design a container system. So moving on to this problem, so you have to design a food rating system in which you have two operations you can do on this food. So there are different food items, and the food items has, like, you can modify the rating of those food items. Okay, so you have a food items, you can modify the food rating, and then every food items comes under some sort of a cuisine. Okay, let's say Italian or like whatever, I'm just giving some random names, but yeah, so there is cuisines. In cuisines they have food items, and food items has their rating. So you can only update the rating, you cannot update the cuisine type. That is the constraint, but yeah, you can update the rating of any food. Okay, now add or update whatever you want, and now you have to find out, like, and the query type is find out the highest rated food in a particular type of cuisine. For every cuisine, like let's say I want to find out in Italian cuisine what is the highest rated food. Okay, and then that's the overall problem. Now you have to do this. There are multiple operations you have to do, like multiple type of operations. So you cannot do this in like O of n square or something like that. But yeah, you can think of that. So it's very similar to that. Now I already told you in that video as well that first see for what parameter you have to do the query on, and just try to design your system in that form only. So I want to do the query on cuisines. So instead of storing out food, like for this, like this food is this food is of this cuisine, this food of this cuisine, why not just store them in the cuisine wise order? So let's say that I have 5 cuisines. For these 5 cuisines I have these type of foods. So what we're trying to do is that, let's move this out. I will make some sort of a menu, you can just assume, or let's say a container. We will make a map actually, but we can just say that it's a menu in which I will not only, like, I will not store the food, like the actual food, but I will store the cuisines. So this cuisines are stored here. My spelling is not wrong. So where is cuisines? C-U-I-S-I-S. Yeah. So I have stored out cuisines, and let's say the first cuisine, the second cuisine, third cuisine, and so on. And whenever, let's say I have a particular type of dish for a particular cuisine, I will store that inside a set. Let's say in a separate container. For let's say Indian or Italian, Chinese. Okay. For this I have different type of dishes. So let's say 1 dish, 2 dish, 3 dish, 1 dish, 2 dish, and so on. So this will be stored inside a set, and this set will store them in the particular order. Now we want the very highest value rated food in a particular cuisine. What is the highest rated food? Okay, for that I have to store out these dishes by the rating. Okay, for that, if I store them in a set, the set will store in the very decreasing to increasing order. But we can, like, you can either write down a comparator function to write down or change the functionality of set, or one of the other way also is to make the rating negative. By negative I means that, let's say the very highest value, if I put in a negative way, like if I just put a negative in front of every cuisine, we know that according to our system, we know that they are positive values, but for the data structure that we are building, I will put a negative sign in front of it. So when we have a negative sign, it will be sorted in the very smallest to the largest, and the very largest value when put in negative value will become the very negative value. So it will be the smallest value, it will come to the very front. Hope you get the point. So the thing is that if I put a negative value in front of every rating, I will get the same rating and I will get the functionality of the set. I don't have to add on. So that's the only thing why I don't have to add an extra comparator function. If you can add an extra comparator function to sort in a decreasing order, it's very good for you. But you can also add on a minus sign in front of rating, so that is also will sort your function, like sort your functionality. So that's the one trick you can also use in different type of problems. So what we're trying to do is that I will make a pair, okay, in which I have rating R1 and the dish name. So let's say food name F1, rating 2 food 2, rating 3 food 3, And this set will like sort them by the first value of the pair, that is the rating, and we have by the rating sorted these dishes. Got it? So that is how you can prepare them out. Now if I want the very first highest rated food, I can directly just pop out or like take out the first value from the set. I will get the highest rated food for sure. If I want to update that, now the tricky part came here, that if I want to update that, there was an update call in which I want to update a food and the rating. So if I want to like find out inside a set, like these are sets, okay. So first, in the same problem in the previous problem as well, I have to make a reverse mapping as well. Reverse map from food to cuisine, because in the query, like in which let's say what they want to modify, they will tell that I want to modify the food F1 to another rating, but I have the mapping from cuisine to foods. So I have to also like store a reverse mapping from food to cuisine as well, so that I have that, okay, if I want to find out that this is the food F1 I want to change, this food is of type C1, like cuisine C1. From that cuisine, I can go to this mapping. I will get that, okay, cuisine is this, like let's say Indian, and from that Indian, I will again go down to the food and I will get inside the set and like change that out. Got it? Because from directly food, I cannot find out where the set is, because the set is mapped to cuisine. Fine. So I have this reverse mapping, I have this cuisine mapping. Okay. One more mapping is left. Can you think of that? Thing is that when I finally comes down to like change the rating inside the set, or if I want to find a particular entry inside the set, I have to be very precise about that. But what the actual problem is, let's say I want to change, let's say I want to change the food F1 from rating R1 to R10. Okay, so they just only give in the problem that change F1 to R10. But when I do the query, I have to form a particular pair, the exact pair inside the set. The pair is from R1 F1. So I have to exactly find out R1 F1 inside the set. So I have to also store a pairing from food till rating. I hope you get the point. Why? Because when I will eventually do a query on the set to give me the exact value I want to do, because if I get this pair, I will directly just change this food R1 to R10, insert back in the set moving forward, like fine. But to get this pair from the set, because to get actually just to query inside the set, okay, I have to get the exact value. I only have the food, and they just give me that change the food value F1 from to R10, like the rating 10. They don't give the previous value. So the previous value I have to make a mapping. So I will have to make a mapping in which food is mapped to the previous rating, and then when I update this rating, I will also update it in the map, so that I have the new updated value, so that if I want to again update that in the set, I have the updated rating I can keep on. So I move on to the code part. I hope you get the overview how this whole like design is made, and then we move on to the code part now. So how this design is actually made, the code is not that much difficult if you understood the logic part. So we have three mappings. The first one is the actual mapping from the cuisine to the set of foods and rating. So this is food. So this is rating, because I have to first sort by rating. So this is rating and this is food pair. Okay, cool. The second one is the rating itself, in which I will map the food to the rating. The last one is like the category, in which I will map the food to cuisine, the reverse mapping. So what will initialize everything, like when we have the actual part, how will initialize by like mapping the food with the rating that I require for doing queries in the set. I will also update the food with cuisine, which I will require to do a reverse mapping. And I will also insert in the cuisine the ratings as well as food, but rating in the negative part. I hope you get the point why we have inserted in the negative part. We can also add a custom comparator, but yeah, negative part as well. Now, finding out the highest rated value, I will go inside. So let's say we have a cuisine. So let's say for a particular cuisine, I will take that cuisine, find out the very first value for that cuisine. So for the very first value, that is the most negative rating, will actually be the very highest rating. Just take out that value, and the first one is the rating and the second is the dish value. Return the dish value. Cool, fine. How to change that out? For changing it out, I have the cuisine from that. So from the particular food I will get the cuisine. Okay, because I have this reverse mapping. From that cuisine, what I'll do, that I will update by that cuisine. I have to get the before rating. So before rating for that food, I will get from this, I will put a negative sign because all of them is stored positive, but I have to, when I'll do a query, I have to do a negative sign. So I will get the rating from this mapping, that is rating, put that into food. I will get the previous rating, the food, erase that from the map, or actually not the map. You can use a set or you can use a map, whatever you want, but that's the thing. Erase from the map, and then update this rating to the new rating from the food, and then insert this new rating inside the map again with this cuisine. So I hope you get the point. So insert of the map or set, I have to be very precise of what entry I want to find. For that, I have used these mapping. So that's the overall logic and code part for the third problem as well. If you still have any doubts, you can mention down in the comment box. Thank you for watching this video till the end. I will see you in the next one. Till I keep coding, and bye.